Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Flea Market Finds, and this is going to be the remainder of the stuff that I picked at the Brimfield Flea Market. The Brimfield Flea Market runs from Tuesday all the way to Sunday in some fields, and then it's staggered openings for some of the fields, so you really got to look at the schedule to figure out what's going on. But if you really want to pick the whole thing, you're going to have to go back on multiple days, and that's exactly what I ended up doing. I went on Tuesday, which that video is already up, and if you haven't already seen that, I suggest you check that out. And then on Tuesday, I ended up picking a huge cache of machinist tools that was the contents of 3 boxes. I didn't want to buy the boxes. I've got too many. Whew, that was a hornet. I've got too many of the boxes as it is, and the Gerstner boxes were kind of pricey. So I did a separate video on the contents of just those boxes, which is also up. So if you like machinist tools, definitely check that one out. And then this video here is going to comprise the things that I picked on Thursday and Friday. I went back those 2 more days, but I didn't pick that much on either of the 2 days, so we're going to combine them into one video. So let's reposition the camera and we'll dive right in. Alright, let's start with the stuff that I picked on Thursday. And right off the bat I found this interesting pair of Craftsman specialty pliers. They're clearly marked Craftsman. They actually look like they're in great shape. They've got almost like a duckbill edge to them. So you can see they've got like a serrated area to give it extra gripping power on the 2 outsides of the jaws. So it appears that this is almost like a spreading tool, maybe for a type of hose clamp, like on automotive use or something. I don't know. But I thought they were kind of neat, and I gave 10 bucks for him. He actually had a price on here of 20, but I got him for 10. And then another guy, he had not a lot for tools, but he had these old dividers sitting there, and I spotted this pair. Now, the tips looked like somebody heated them and bent them for some reason. So to make them for outside, almost like outside diameter calipers, the way that they did this. But I think these originally were probably dividers, and they're complete. This little wing nut, locking nut or screw is present. Lots of times those are missing, and this fine adjust nut right here, sometimes those go missing. The spring is there, so they got a lot going for them other than being modified. But the main reason I bought them was because I spotted the logo and realized that these are early Peck and Stowe, or Peck Stowe calipers. Hopefully that's focusing, but right there above my finger you can see the actual logo. And the guy really wanted to get rid of stuff, so he was practically begging me to take these, and I was like, no. I said, I can't use them. These are just butchered on the end here, and they're missing that screw. But as I was walking away, he says, here, just take them, free. So for free, I didn't want to insult the guy and still not take them. And then I thought about it, and I said, well, if I end up getting another pair that's missing this this adjusting nut right here, then I've got this for parts, right? I guess, I don't know. In case you're wondering who makes these are marked Worth, W-O-R-T-H. So I don't know, not familiar with that company, but I'm sure they're quite early. I spotted this oil can. I said I'm not going to buy any more of these because I got too many of them. And then I saw one of Adam Booth's videos, and he was talking about these oilers and how that they had gotten really pricey. I think he even was thinking that maybe the online popularity of these with some of the more popular YouTube machinist channels is what's driving the price on these up. I don't know, but this is the Eagle number 66 oiler. Bottom's not all dented up. Top's not all pucked in. It's got the flexible spout on it. I got this for 6 bucks. That's probably like, I think I've only paid less than 6 a couple of times over the years where I've gotten them for 5 bucks, and they usually didn't look as clean as this one. This one actually looks fairly clean. It is missing the, so it's missing the little tip that screws on the end there. Other than that, it's a nice little oiler, and for 6 bucks, I'm not worried about it. And I found this lady's tent where she had a whole bunch of stuff just strewn about all over the tables and everything. She had a big table out in front of the tent. Everything on that table was $1. And I spotted these nice large cast aluminum, or cast steel, they're probably aluminum, pulleys, okay? And originally they were marked $7.99 a piece at the hardware store that these were being sold. But I scored a pair of these for $1 a piece. So I figure at some point I might need a pulley for something, and I'll have them handy. And then when I went inside the tent, I found this one, and I said, would you do $1 on this one too? And she said, sure. This one's actually smaller, but it's actually got a nice plating on it. It's almost like chrome plating. Made in Malaysia, so a cheap, but at least it's not plastic. Like those horrible plastic junk pulleys that they give you with the Shelter Logic sheds to roll up the front. So I was thinking, boy, you know, just that alone. This was marked $6.99 originally in the store. Got that for $1. And then the biggest score in her tent was for $5. I got this Huat, genuine Huat drill index. I think it's brand new old stock. I think they shipped these empty, and then the idea was that once they get to the location, the store would stock them. So I asked her if there were any more, and she said no, because I would have bought, for $5 a piece, I probably would have bought 4 or 5 of these. So this one takes the 1 through 60 number size drills, and then over here it takes the letter size drills, and then on this side the fractional size drills. So it's a combination 3-in-1 index, which is kind of cool. Good deal for $5. Found this Starrett 196 indicator. I rarely buy these anymore because, again, I have so many of them. Got quite a overstock of these. Loose ones like this especially. It's better if they're in the original case with some of the attachments that these came with over the years. This one does have the 1-button attachment on it, so that's good. And it works perfectly fine, and I got it for $10. Something else I bought for $10, which I really regretted, is and yeah, you know, in full disclosure, I could easily just not show you this and show you how I totally missed the boat on realizing what this was and ponied up $10 for it. So I thought this was a neat little level that I had never seen before, and there's no maker's name on it. It is marked hardened on one side, which should have been a dead giveaway. Okay, the other dead giveaway is that on this side there's a hole right there. That is for a scriber. So I'm looking at it, and I noticed the hole, and I said, yeah, that's for a scriber. So I'm still thinking, oh yeah, it's a neat little level, but it's also being used as a straight edge. You pull the scriber out and you can do your layout lines, right? And never once does it occur to me that what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the 90-degree head for a combination square that somebody has cut this section out and turned it into this little tool. So kind of neat that they, you know, made a neat little tool out of the combination square. But the reality is, I mean, I don't know how much I'm going to get for this thing, because it's you know, it's really a one-off type of deal. They did a really good job of polishing this up here, so you don't see any saw marks or anything on that. But yeah, if I had realized what it was, I wouldn't have bought it. Wah wah. And the last item I picked on that Thursday, actually second to the last item I picked on that Thursday, was this nice Craftsman 4026. This is a drill gauge, drill point gauge. So this gives you the proper angle for grinding your drill bits. But then it's a multiple tool. It acts as a protractor, and it has other jobs that it can do. And like the one from General Hardware, on the back it clearly explains all the different little things that this can do. And I've gotten a few of these over the years with different names, but being that it's a Craftsman and has this nice original little pouch right here, I got it for $5. But these being so clean with the nice looking pouch that isn't all chewed up and everything, these are 4026s. I think I got the number on these wrong. But anyways, I should be able to get 10. So no biggie. All right, let's get that last item that I bought on Thursday up here on the table to take a look at, and then we'll knock out the few things I got on Friday. So it's funny, you never know what you might find at the old Brimfield flea market. Vintage electronics come up from time to time, and as is the case here, vintage test equipment. So what we got here is a Tektronix 2445 dual trace 150 megahertz oscilloscope. It is missing the little knob cover for the scale illumination here and the intensity, which is, I'm not sure why, but they're just gone. But the controls aren't broken. The shafts still seem to be working, so I'm not too worried about that. So it's got a calibration sticker on the side, and it says that it would be voided if this seal is broken, and I can't quite make out the date on it. But the good news is the seal's not broken. So after this was calibrated at Tektronix, they put the seal on, and it hasn't been opened since. It looks like this calibration sticker on the front here says 1998. Not sure on that. So if it works, it's kind of a nice old scope. But the big question is, does it work? Got no way to plug it in out there in the field, right? It's also missing the power cord, but that's a standard D-type plug that you use like for desktop computers. So I got plenty extras of those, so I'm not worried about that. But just the whole idea that there were no probes to go with it and no power cord doesn't bode well for this thing. And that's why I was able to convince the gentleman to sell me this for 20 bucks. So you and I are going to find, oh, these aren't probes, by the way, or cables. These are actually standard RCA patch cables for like audio that were wrapped around the thing here. I don't know why. But we're going to find out live in this video whether or not I got a good deal. All right, I got a power cord hooked up. Let's see what happens. Oh, hear a fan. There's a click. Oh, we've got something happening here. We've got a trace. All right, looks like we're not getting full horizontal deflection here. Oh, hold on. Something just happened. Oh, this has got on-screen display of some of the various parameters. I didn't even know that this had this. Let's see if we can focus that. Oh, it focuses too. Nice. Okay, so we had a little bit of a delay before anything happened here, but now that's interesting. I hit the beam finder and it went back to this weird thing. Oh, okay, I see. This line, this vertical line, which I actually thought was, because there was no deflection, is actually the line to allow you to select the beginning and the end point of what part of a waveform you want to measure. So if you want to just measure one section of the waveform, you use these knobs to move these in and out. There must be a way to shut that off. Alright, it took a while of messing around with this thing to figure out how the controls work, but I think now it should be working. If it doesn't, then it means when it's first turned on, something is not right and it needs to stabilize. But no, see, it's working. So what we're looking at, it's a little hard to see out here, but this is the waveform for channel 2 that I'm in right now, and I've got the probe hooked up to the calibrator. So that's channel 2. It's supposed to be a square wave. It's a little uneven. That just means the probe needs to be compensated. And then this is channel 1 up top there. So if I disconnect and go to channel 1, alright, so now it just moved down because there's probably some DC offset that's happening because of a setting I have wrong on the on here. Let's see, one of these should. Oh, look how good that waveform looks now. Yeah, that's channel 1 is giving me a really weird waveform. Let's try channel 3. I think I called this a dual trace scope. This is actually a quad trace scope. It's got 4 inputs, 4 channels. Huh, I've never seen a scope like this before. So channels 1 and 2 are like a conventional oscilloscope. They have volts per division that's adjustable here. Channels 3 and 4, you only have 2 volts per division settings available. 0.5 or 0.1 volt per division. So when these buttons are out, this is for channel 3 and this is for 4. When they're out, you're at 0.1 volt per division. If I push it in, that's actually, I'm on channel 4, so if I push this one in, you see it goes to 0.5 volts per division. So if I were to line that up, you can see it's filling 1 division right there because my calibrated output here is 0.4 volts. So it's actually not quite filling it. That seems to be working. I just haven't figured out why this isn't triggering yet. Looks like, oh okay, this is the trigger source. It's probably on 1 or 2 right now. I don't know how you're supposed to know what channel it's on. This lights up and I can't I can't see it out here in the daylight. This is lighting up. So right now I have it triggering for 2 and 4. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 4. That should be triggered. Yep, there you go. Now it locked up. See, it's no longer crawling. Now it's triggered. So that's a working oscilloscope. That's kind of neat. Okay, well, maybe next time I'm at the Hamfest, I'll see if I can scare up a couple of decent used Tektronix probes to go with this thing. But for now, let's put this away and see what I ended up buying when I went back on Friday. So on Friday it was kind of slim pickings. I went into a tent where a guy has a large table set up where everything on the table is $1 a piece. And I combed through that table and I found these 4 items that I got for $1 a piece. The first of which is this nice pair of inside calipers. These are actually Lufkin rule. They're in pretty decent shape. The plating's kind of rough on the end of that one, but I mean it was only $1. Normally I don't buy these anymore because they don't bring that much money, but got it for $1. I got these little cutters right here. The cutting edge is actually still in pretty good shape, and I just thought they were a neat little pair of nipping tools here. They look almost like the type used by jewelers, and I do not see any maker's name anywhere on it to indicate who makes these. Oh, here it is. It's on the inside here. So these are made by F.E. Lindstrom. Well, so it turns out that the F.E. Lindstrom company is still in business, and they are claiming the right to being the longest continuously in business hand tool company. So, not sure about that, but they said they were started in 1856. I also scored this 10-inch pipe wrench, which normally I wouldn't bother buying a 10-inch pipe wrench, but this is a red diamond USA made one, so for $1, why not, right? And then you're probably wondering, why would I even pay $1 for this? Well, the reason why is because I actually have a box that had some parallel clamps in there, and what was in the bottom of the box was a bunch of half clamps that over the years, I don't know if the guy just kept the extra parts or whatever, but I might actually have a jaw that will fit this and make this a whole clamp. So for $1, why not? It's actually a Brown & Sharp 754E. Then I saw a guy that I see there almost every show at Brimfield, and these guys always have good deals on stuff. They don't ask for a lot for what they bring in. And I got these 4 items from these guys. Now this is probably the coolest of them all. This I got for $3. This is a Texas Instruments SR40 electronic slide rule calculator. So what I thought was kind of cool about this is the box is in rough shape, but it's the original box, and in the original box is the original pouch and owner's manual. We got 2 here, 2 languages maybe. Let's see, that's English. I'm not sure why, but there are two owner's manuals. Both English. Oh, this is for the TI-30 and this is for an SR-40. So this is the owner's manual for this, and there's actually a TI-30 manual in here. I wonder why that is. But there it is. It looks like a TI-30, but or a TI-55 maybe, but it's an SR-40, and oh, nice and moldy smelling. And the deal with this is, unlike a lot of these that are supposed to run off of a 9-volt battery, this one actually comes with this AC adapter, which, by the way, this AC adapter sells for 15 bucks on eBay. And then this calculator for parts only with like the pouch, I saw one sold for about 15. I want to be careful how I open this. I don't want to scratch it all up. You see what we've got is we've actually got a NiCad battery pack in here. But it looks like the connection to the battery pack from the calculator looks like the standard 9-volt. So I'm wondering if you can run this off of a 9-volt transistor battery. It does not tell you the voltage of the battery pack. It just tells you that it's a BP8. Let's see what the adapter puts out for voltage. Well, it's interesting. The adapter only puts out 5.7 volts AC. So that battery pack must have electronics in it to change it to DC and boost the voltage to charge whatever's in there for cells. Well, apparently the BP3 battery pack has long since been discontinued. I don't know, maybe I'll even take that pack apart and see if I can change the cells inside. This envelope right here says battery compartment cover for a 9-volt disposable battery. Can also be operated. Okay, so that's cool. So this is an alternative back door for the battery door cover. And it's got this little foam here to help keep the 9-volt battery in place if you're running it off the 9-volt battery and taking that out. So I can just run this off a 9-volt battery. Oh, that's great. Also from that guy, for a couple of bucks, I got this sharpening stone. And the reason why I snagged this was because on the other side, it's kind of neat. It's all lettered up. And it's basically telling us here that this was a like a commemorative sharpening stone for General Electric. It says right on it, General Electric of Pittsfield, Massachusetts, open house, 10/17/53, 1953, how about that? LACO, blah, 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 souvenir. I think it says thyroid. Can be used as knife sharpener. Bet you don't have one of these. Here's a Starrett micrometer that I got for $2 or $1, I forget which, and the reason why is because it's junk. The spindle is locked up so much so that this is just actually wanting to unscrew. This is all rusted. This is complete junk. Not worth doing anything with. So why did I want it for $1? Well, because I might have a number 230 in there that's in good working condition. And now I have an original box with the paperwork, with the micrometer wrench, and also this little ratcheting thimble. Sometimes these go bad, so that's a genuine Starrett one now. If I have a Starrett mic that needs one of these, I can just swap it out. And the last item I got from that guy was this unusual crimping tool for $2. This is an Imperial Eastman of Chicago, USA, and it's got a catalog number on it of 525F. And I'm not quite sure. We'll probably Google this in a moment and find out exactly what it is. But it's ingeniously designed so that when you turn this handle right here, that hole will squeeze down on all sides. So it's some sort of a crimper. It might be just for cable TV connectors, which would be kind of lame, but I was wondering whether or not it might be for crimping on you know, barbed fittings on fuel lines or something like that. Well, that's unfortunate. This is a grabber roll air flaring tool, and you can see it's missing the other piece completely. And they still sell them today, and it'd be 95 bucks for a new one. But since I only have the half, I don't know if it's worth anything at all. Probably not, huh? Oddly enough, a few of these just alone, without the other part, have sold on eBay for as little as $8 and as much as $20. So go figure. Glad I only paid $2 for it. Alright, coming down to the last few items here, we've got from a guy I spotted that he had this box of collets. I think he was asking like $10 a collet for these. These are new old stock MHC brand collets, so these are most likely imports. Yeah, they're Chinese, but they're Chinese, sold through MHC Supply, so they're still not exactly cheap to buy new. And they are all brand spanking new, never used, mint condition. So I figured if I bought all of them, I might be able to get a deal out of them. I was trying to get them for a couple of bucks a piece. I ended up getting all of them for 35 bucks, and I counted them out, and there's 18 in here. So I got them for just a hair under $2 a piece. And I'll probably be able to blow these out at $5 a piece. And then after I bought that, I looked through some other machinist stuff he had there. There wasn't much great stuff there, but I did find these two little items here that I got him to part with for $2. This is a accessory for a screw jack, you know, like a Stare at Little Wonder screw jack, where you can take out the swivel head flat top and put this in instead. And the only thing is, by the looks of it, it's not Stare It. It's probably for like MHC brand, Chinese one or something like that, just looking at the finish on it and everything. And then this mandrel right here. So this is got a very slight taper, and it's an arbor or a mandrel that you can basically push a, you could press this in with an arbor press into like a gear blank, and then this will allow you to mount that gear blank between centers so you can do your various operations on them. And they make these in all different sizes. This one is a 1/2 inch. And it's in great shape, so $2. And the last item, more vintage electronics, and from the same guy that I got those collets and those last couple items from, he did have a box of old CB walkie-talkies, and I was just going through them for giggles, and I spotted this, and at first I thought it was a pocket scanner, and then I looked more closely and saw that it was Kenwood and realized, oh, this is a Kenwood VHF radio. It's an FM transceiver, and so it's a TH235A, and it's got a rechargeable battery pack. It slides off like this. And I looked all through the other boxes and could not find an adapter to charge this, unfortunately. Now this does have a DC input on the side here for 13.8 volts. So it's basically made to run off 12 volt DC. So if you had an adapter, you could actually use it in the car. The only thing I'm not sure of is whether or not you can run this off of just the AC adapter without the battery. A lot of these are designed so that the battery acts almost as a regulator. So the charging port is really just for charging the battery, and then you're supposed to run it off of the battery pack. So I haven't decided yet. Got a good rubber ducky antenna on there, by the looks of it. So I don't know, I might just blow this out at eBay or one of the ham fests. Alright everybody, that's going to bring another episode to a close. Hope you enjoyed this video of pics. And until next time, take care.